Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Outsiders Entertainment, and I would like to talk about one of the biggest joke battles I've ever heard of is the Defenders with Punisher from the Marvel Cinematic Universe versus Sam Raimi's Green Goblin. Now, I initially thought that this would be a good fight. Like, okay, if Goblin didn't have his gear, if it was literally just him, like, just without, in his suit versus all the Defenders with gear. Now, that would be a better fight, right? You would think, because it wouldn't really be a mismatch. That would be equal ground. No, I posted this on Facebook, and needless to say, a bunch of dumbasses started saying, "Oh, Luke Cage or Danny would solo Norman." No, they would not. Especially with the gear that Norman has, bombs that disintegrate people, bombs that can take out a whole city blocks, mounted machine guns, pumpkin bombs, slicers, or splicers, really. That's what they're really referred to. But that and him having the Goblin serum, which is a tier above what Luke and Danny have ever faced. Sorry, I mean, yeah. And on top of that, like, if you look at their feats, like, they're lacking in durability and striking strength. Like, Luke Cage, sure, he's taken on people where he's bled, right? Like, he's taken on people like Bushmaster and Diamondback, people who've made him bleed. And, Danny's taken on people like Madame Gao and and Davos with the Iron Fist. But honestly, none of their villains are even could even be comprehensible in that terms of power compared to Norman, man. Like this is just a huge mismatch completely, and I don't know why anyone. I mean, yeah, I did post it on Facebook, but I did it without. I made sure that I put in the rules that Norman didn't have anything. Like, he didn't have his no gear, just his suit and like everyone else, the Defenders had their suits and gear. Like, that would be fair. But for Norman to have his gear, no, that he would literally he would laugh. Like, he wouldn't be able to control himself because he'd be like, "Wow, you know, like, these people don't even stand a chance." But I just want to get this off my chest. I'm going to show you guys a few little clips just to prove my point of how OP Goblin is. And until then, I'll catch you guys later. All right. Thank you.
The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the goblin and took the spider out.
I mean, just to prove to you how fucking overpowered Green Goblin is, I mean, look at this one feat where he's literally in his glider. He shoots one little missile, enough to take down an entire old abandoned storage house, which literally consisted of one block. I'm sorry if the Defenders got hit with that. The only one who would survive, the only one who would really survive is Luke Cage, man. I'm sorry. So just with those two durability feats shown, I feel like Luke Cage would most definitely survive, especially considering that in the restaurant clip where Cottonmouth shot basically a smart rocket at Luke, it hit him in the back when he went to cover for Connie, the restaurant owner. and the truck explosion. So, I mean, even though they're not really on the same level of Goblin's explosive missiles, it's basically around, like, I would say, in terms of, like, power, it's near, especially that smart rocket. Um, and Luke Cage, just, I mean, he's immune to fire. It doesn't affect him, and explosions point blank, especially from the Judas bullets, which, even, like, with season 2 showings, he basically gained 100% immunity from them, meaning that they don't pierce his skin anymore because of that because of that acid bath he was given in season 1 in order to get that shrapnel out after he was penetrated with the Judas bullet. But that is not a problem for him anymore. Now, in my honest opinion, I feel like the most viable member for the defenders in this match would have to be Luke. Number one is definitely Luke. Number one is most definitely Luke, mainly because of his durability and strength. Him alone is probably one of the only reasons why the defenders really stand a chance, next to Danny and maybe Jessica. But point is that I'm gonna give Luke the MVP number one spot because, in all honesty, he would definitely fight for his life. Goblin Norman's gonna make sure everybody fights for their life, but Luke's probably gonna be MVP, even though he's sadly gonna die. Especially after, if Goblin is like, if he's bloodlusted or he just doesn't feel like going through all the hassle, he'll just take out everybody with the missile, boom, and then if he wants, then he can go in hand to hand with Luke, and I guarantee you, Luke's not gonna win that. People like Diamondback and Bushmaster made him bleed, and they're like two tiers below Norman Osborn. So that's my honest opinion. I love Luke and I love the Defenders. I love Punisher, but I'm just stating my opinion. All right, that's how I feel, and yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna introduce Iron Fist now, and his spot in this like battle. Coming at second place behind MCU Luke Cage is Danny Rand, aka the Immortal Iron Fist, aka the Lost Son from Kunlun. Well, I'm just gonna get straight up to the point. He basically has this force. Well, we all have this force, but Iron Fist, he makes sure everybody knows that we all have this life force, this energy force inside of us, and it's called chi. And basically, what the Iron Fist is really, what their purpose is to basically have this weapon called the Iron Fist, which is summoning their chi through the heart of the dragon of Shao Lao the Undying, and they basically can enhance their strength, their speed, durability, etc. Just stats in general, including uh, all the energy, going into a body part like a hand, for example. Hence, Iron Fist. Now, here's the thing: Danny Rand, he's really impressive, especially with season 2 showings, able to hold his own against people like Davos, Madame Gao, Elektra, Daredevil. A little bit of stick, but at the same time, it's like those people they don't have the same stats compared to Norman Osborn. They really don't. Like I hate to admit it, but they really don't. They're just not on the same level. Now, I will say though, one thing that does kind of have me like a little 50-50 on is if Norman will get even like affected. Like, would he get like? Because I don't think he'll get phased by an Iron Fist punch, but I think he will definitely feel it. But I don't think it's gonna do anything like just. It'll probably it'll probably feel like a punch, but it's not gonna put him down in any way. It may have put Luke down, but I mean, Green Goblin has taken hits from Spider-Man, which by default, Luke Cage and Spider-Man are in completely two different tiers. They're both still street level, but here's the thing. Fun fact about Spider-Man, he's not really street level. He's actually mid-tier. And the reason being that he's actually put into the street level category is because he's always having to hold himself back. Because I guarantee you, if Peter Parker punched people with full strength, rip. He would punch like holes through people's chests, and he's actually done that before many times. But since we're only using the live action, but in terms of feats, striking strength, strength in general, and durability, Spider-Man is still above Luke Cage no matter what, especially the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire version of Spider-Man. Just for all these characters in general. But I do believe that since Danny Rand, since he's has high pain tolerance, he has subsonic, maybe not hypersonic. I doubt hypersonic, but at least subsonic reaction speed. Definitely combat speed as well. I mean, Norman's practically on the same tier. The only issue that I see is Danny's chi. If he uses too much of it, he can run out, and I guarantee you that would not be good for Danny because the moment he runs out, he's gonna try to take Goblin head on, and I don't think, yeah, he's. Oh, I feel so bad for Danny because I love martial arts, but realistically, yeah, that wouldn't do anything against Goblin's suit. Nothing, none of that would. I'm sorry. But Danny, because of his chi, his pain tolerance, and his also his able the fact that he's able to like duo with Luke Cage, like because they work really well together. I can see him being another good MVP potentially. If Luke gets taken out, then Danny is gonna take over. But I mean, still, that's gonna be a tough call. I mean, because like I said, if Goblin really wanted to, one missile, boom, Luke Cage is the only one last standing. But other than that, if it's literally just no gear, no glider, yeah, then I would have to say Danny would at least be second place. All right, well, I'm going to introduce Jessica Jones now. Coming in behind Danny Rand in third place is the one and only Jessica Jones, one of the best MCU female characters that I've ever seen. I really love her characterization. But basically, she was experimented on after a car accident. I don't believe who I don't remember if who funded for her to get experimented on, but basically in a sense, she has kind of like in a sense like she's on the same physicals as Luke Cage. Not definitely like not in terms of lifting strength or striking strength, but she's around near him. Now in durability, like her durability feats are so bad. If I'm being honest, like if a peak human fought her, like they have a chance of actually taking her down because like Jessica Jones is very sloppy in hand to hand. Like she's not skilled. Um, I mean, I guess she kind of is, but she kind of uses her strength to her advantage. But going up against people like Murakami, who basically one shotted her at one point, uh, even Daredevil, Danny. I mean, a lot of them like can prove to her that strength and stats isn't always everything. And I know some of you are gonna be like, well, if you just said that, why aren't you gonna say that about Green Goblin or Norman Osborn for this battle? And I'm like, well, the thing is though, is that in terms of feats, they're like the stats and feats gap, they're like two tiers apart. The defenders and Norman. And Jessica Jones, I mean, she's very diversive and she can like I know like she's basically gonna be like the third factor in this fight, only because of her striking, like her striking and her just strength. That's about it. Other than that, she's basically a glass cannon who really can't hold up as much. Like if I'm being honest, I would kind of like if I'm being honest, if Jessica Jones was at least a little more skilled, I could have maybe seen like a stronger side or a stronger argument for the defenders against Norman Osborn. But I don't see that at all. What I do see is an alcoholic with strength, with super strength, who's basically a glass cannon and has the shittiest durability feats I've ever seen. Now, I love Jessica, like, and I prefer her characterization over Norman. But man, I can't deny it, you know? I mean, it's just from what we've seen. I mean, I just hope maybe one day when these characters are actually brought into the MCU, like actual canon lore, I just really hope that they get better feats and all that. And like they just get more improvements because Jessica, it's like Jessica brings something to the table, but it's not enough to balance the scale. Or just not enough to like it's like she brings something to the table, but nothing's there. You know, it's just another glass cannon that's so fodder that can practically get one shotted, and she's been one shotted by normal humans before, which is sad considering that Jessica Jones is supposed to be a stronger character. But anyways, if I'm being honest, that's all I really have to say about Jessica. So it's like she can hold her own, but evidently if she gets hit in a very critical part of her body, she'll go down immediately, and her pain tolerance is not that good at all. Yeah, she knows when she's gonna be in pain. But that's all I have to say about Jessica. Time for the next person. Coming at fourth place, behind Jessica Jones is Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil. So basically, his origin is he was always heroic, even before he became blind. But the day he decided to be the most heroic, he ended up losing his eyesight, or well, thoroughly his vision in both eyes, and by a chemical that because he pushed an old man out of the street, but a bunch of chemicals went flying everywhere, and a shitload of it went into his eyes. Now, the same chemicals that made him blind enhanced his senses, gave him super smell, super hearing, etc., even sonar sense and echolocation. So basically, I decided to put Matt Murdock like first over. Well, I decided to put Matt Murdock over Punisher only because not only is Matt Murdock way more skilled, but he also, in a sense, he has superpowers, so he'll be able to tell where Goblin's at, and he'll be able to hear everything. Now, the only issue that I see completely with this is even with the armor, Matt can be a glass cannon because there's been times where he's been ragdolled with the armor completely, especially by hand members, Kingpin, Madame Gao, Bakudo, you know, Alexandria, Murakami, Stick, Elektra, etc. Just people who are literally on the same and same like terms of stats and feats and even skill in hand-to-hand combat, and even in swordsmanship and fencing, but Matt Murdock, he's very determined, but honestly I don't think determination is going to help him win this fight. Now, with any luck, the defenders will be listening to Matt, considering that he knows how to strategize and he knows where Norman can be coming from. Potentially, if Norman's about to shoot a missile, they can all probably go under or try to find cover. I kind of doubt that the majority of them would even live after that, but you never really know because, I mean, when it's a fight, it's also about the scenario. It's not just about feats and statements and all that. It can also have to be about the scenario that you put them in and what their mindsets are. That's really important too, especially with their personality traits, because that basically shows you how they would react to like different things, right? But point is that I love Matt Murdock. Honestly, he can probably do with his armor, his skill, and his echolocation. Like, I hate to say this, I mean, yeah, he is lacking in strength, but I will say this though: if somehow he managed to get everybody to listen to him, the defenders could probably live a lot longer and maybe even potentially win. That's a huge if, but it could happen if they decide to listen to him. But the defenders are pretty reckless and they really make their own decisions, so I don't know if that's thoroughly possible, but oh well. But I would just like to say that Matt Murdock, he's a glass cannon and he is coming in fourth place for a reason, despite him having incredible senses, very large amounts of skill, and his equipment. It's just still too low to even affect Norman Osborn, in my honest opinion. But you never really know. All right, so I'm going to be introducing the next person now. Thanks. Coming at fifth place behind Matt Murdock is Frank Castle, a.k.a. The Punisher, a.k.a. the One Man Army. So, just for the record, the only reason why I have Frank Castle at fifth place is due to the fact that he really doesn't have any abilities to give him some sort of enhancement. Like, the only thing he really has going for him is his military knowledge and his bloodlust. That's really about it. And maybe a little bit of his equipment, because I know Norman Osborn has mounted machine guns on his glider. But then again, I've already talked to you about the glider, why I think it'd be a mismatch. But basically the whole point, the reason why I have him at fifth place is because potentially he could probably be able to do something. Like, I wouldn't say like hurt Norman, but at least distract him for like the top three to jump on Norman, while the others try to, like, in a sense, join in or gang up. Because Frank Castle's really good at improv, and he knows how to prep, he knows how to hide, he knows how to completely camouflage the environment, and replace everything. Like, he knows how to just put. He basically knows how to hide in plain sight because of his military knowledge. It's just I kind of fear, because I fear that that won't be enough. Especially that Norman Osborn, he has enhanced senses as well. Not just super strength, super durability, not just, it's not just that. It's also enhanced senses. Meaning that if Frank Castle was the only one left and Norman was looking for him and he heard Frank reload, like, let's say Frank reloaded on, like, the other side of the location where they're fighting at, Norman would hear it, and then he would know where Frank's at. And obviously, in terms of feats, Frank Castle is impressive, but not even close to Norman. Frank Castle would get stomped, especially this variation of him, if he went toe-to-toe with Norman Osborn, especially from the Raimi trilogy. If it was hand-to-hand, stomped. If it was with gear, stomped. It's like, no matter what scenario that you put him, like, you could even potentially even give him you could potentially give Frank Castle, I would say, probably at least 2-3 weeks of prep, and I still think Norman would come out on top. Like, no matter amounts of prep can compare you, can like can just can no matter no amounts of. Damn it. So with the final verdict, I would really have to just. I'm sorry. Now, okay. So if it was with his gear, if Norman had his gear, like I said previously, the pumpkin bombs, the splicers, the bombs that can disintegrate people, missiles that can take out a whole block with mounted machine guns, that is an absolute no. Norman would stomp under these conditions and certain, like, equipment. There's no way in hell the defenders, no matter how much prep they have, can counter that. From with what we've seen from the shows, no matter how much prep they have, they won't be able to do anything with it. Frank can probably do something, but I doubt it'll do anything at all. especially with Goblin's durability and his suit combined. So he's even more enhanced. He's like a final boss, but the final boss like let's say that their health bar is blue, right? Or well, in this case, let's say it's green. But then let's say the extra set of armor that he has, which is his suit, that's purple. That's basically an extra set of health. So they already have to deal with his armor. Just not even base durability. They already have to deal with his armor first, and then they can probably, if they were to even last that long, they can after that, they can probably go with the, start taking him out. But I doubt that they can probably do something like that. But now, if it was in a now if Norman didn't have his glider and the defenders had all their gear, I would say I would say Norman still, but it's actually going to be a close fight. I mean, obviously people like Daredevil and Frank and potentially Jessica could probably get one-shotted, but Danny and Luke would definitely be enough to take one for the team. They would definitely be the MVPs of the team. Danny with his chi and Luke with his durability and strength. Not on the level of Norman, I know, but enough to hold out, per se, if you catch what I'm trying to say. Enough to last long with him. And with all these targets on him at once, I do believe that it would be a good fight. However, in both scenarios, both cases, I still want to place my hard-earned green, get it, green money. No, never mind, that's a corny-ass joke. But I would still have to place my money on Norman Osborn, a.k.a. the Green Goblin, just because of better feats and better stats. And like I said, I love the Defenders, but they are no way near comparable to Norman Osborn from the Raimi trilogy.